morning. Good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing good.
Good. So,
hey, guess what? We got a brand new GoPro camera. Yeah, a GoPro camera. Guess where it is?
Where?
It's at the house. We had left it at the house, and so we're doing
you
it
left it at the house?
Oh no, not me. That would be you because it's your camera.
Oh, okay. So what are we kind of doing? We were going to move chickens, but we've decided not to.
Yeah, we're going to move the chickens tomorrow because I've got too much stuff I've got to do. Still have to fly tonight, so.
Okay. So what are we doing now?
We're going to feed them.
Feed them and water them.
Yep, give them a little bit of water, and also give them a little bit of, or check their eggs.
Yeah.
And see if they want to give us any eggs.
Okay.
All right.
All right. You have a following.
Yeah, I know it.
That's the rooster. In the one episode of the bird boxes that I was telling you about, his comb had frostbite and it fell off. But not only that, the chickens just pecked on him really bad. So, but, okay, so, and he's the one that attacks. Morning, ladies. Ugh. Oh, hey, Nubs.
What?
There's Nubs.
Yep.
Hey, Miss.
I don't know why it's called Nubs.
Okay, this is why we call her Nubs. As you can see, she lost some of her toes, and that was because of the, when they were little, they were in a
chicken track.
Chickasaw, and somehow or another the raccoon or something, right?
Raccoon or possum or skunk. This is before we had it full or had it completed. They were roosting on the floor, and their feet were going through the cage floor. Well, something chewed off the toes.
Yeah, but she's extremely healthy. She does not have any disability as far as not being able to eat. She's very healthy, and this is what she does. Oh my!
Yeah,
well, good morning, ladies.
I believe we'll just. Here's Nubs.
Let me see.
This is what she does. She jumps up here to watch what we do every single morning. But
and every day.
We're not going to collect the eggs right now. You can see there's one, but all the ladies are sitting.
Yeah.
And I really don't want to disrupt them.
No.
So.
What about that one egg there? You might as well just grab it.
Yeah, I'll grab that one.
Well, good morning, girls.
She's walking out, so I'll take her too.
All right, ladies. We'll just check back later.
Right, Nubs, come on. We got to hop down.
But even with her not having toes, she does very, very well, and that doesn't.
And she can be real destructive if she jumps in your hands. Broke one of the eggs.
Oh, Nubs, that's going to come out of your paycheck, sister.
Now they all think they were going to go get that egg, because I threw it over there. We don't let them have the eggs because we had 2 white chickens and one of the red ones, the cinnamon queens, that got to where they really liked eggs a lot, and they were actually going into the nesting boxes, and if there was anything around the egg other than the straw or hay, they were breaking it and eating it. Well, I basically came down here with a skillet one day and said, you're going in the skillet if you break another egg. And we fortunately, they seem to have stopped, but we are not giving them any eggs because of that, or egg cells. And there are also a lot of different vegetables that you don't want to give chickens, which I didn't know, but my wife got on and found things out. Like, I'd given them banana peels and citrus, and I'd given them all kinds of stuff. And onions. I didn't care. I thought, hey, it's a chicken. Chickens eat anything, they'll like it. They're like a miniature pterodactyl anyway. But we found out that it decreases the egg production, and lo and behold, quit giving them citrus fruits, and the egg production came up.
Yeah, so, and onions too.
Onions, yes.
Yeah. Although I know it says that you're not supposed to give it to them, but they would eat it anyways. Yeah. But it's just not something you want to do. But she's the first one at the buffet this morning on top. Y'all are funny. They're comical to watch.
Okay, I got to set the door so it won't come up in the morning, so that way we can get the chickens moved.
It's a lot easier to move the chickens when they're still in the coop in the morning and not out running. I mean, they'll come to you.
Especially since we're going to move them across the fence over into this other little pasture.
Yeah.
Trying to get them to come through the fence would be like herding wet cats. It would be hard.
It would be hard. All right, girls. We'll be back later to see what eggs you have for us today. All right. Now let's just get their water and then we'll move on to another project.
Yep.
Right?
Moving cows. Well,
Okay.
actually, we're going to put out a roll of hay for the cows today, and we're going to set up another paddock to put them in for when we move them in another 2 days.
Okay.
Because we're trying to keep them off this farm at least until April 1st, because we want the grass to come along, the little cold spells we've had, and because I was a bad farmer. Well, it was a combination of being bad and our tractor being broke down
For half a year. Brand new tractor.
Brand new. But we didn't oversow the pastures with like an annual rye or cereal rye or wheat. We'll do that a lot of times. It just gives that much more grazing for the cattle, and it doesn't do a detriment to the actual fescue. But we didn't do that this past year, so we're waiting for our fescue to really catch up. And you can see it's coming along, but it's not as tall as what I would like.
Right.
And we want to keep the cattle off of this for at least until April 1st. And even then, we may put them in the pasture that we had used a year ago to winterize them. We may put them in that one and feed them hay for another week.
Yeah.
Then turn them out. So we may end up dry lighting them for a week, but we don't want to. But we want to give the pasture a chance to really catch up, so they don't hurt the pasture early on. So
usually our rotational grazing last year was started April the 9th, and the year before was April the 10th. So, but okay. Well, let's finish up with these and little chickens and we'll move on. Okay, so you've got the hay loaded onto the trailer. What are you laughing about? What?
no, nothing.
Oh no, go ahead. Just
Every
say
time we get in the truck, you're either taking a picture or
I know.
I know.
Okay, right? Okay, but see, our audience doesn't know all this. So
Well, it still didn't keep me from laughing.
I know. Okay, so we just got the hay loaded up onto the trailer, and now we're going to take it over to the other farm, and I should say you, want to tell everybody what happened to the hay fork?
My wonderful welding skills, which for some things it works okay, but for other things, like a hay fork, it does not. Now, not the actual spear itself, but the mounting that it is hooked to. I had broke that last winter, and I'd welded it and took what extra metal I had and made a reinforcement for the bracket, and it held up for a little while. But as I was picking up a roll of hay today, it snapped. And again. Yeah, this is like the third time it has snapped.
So what are we going to do with that today?
There's a gentleman I know that actually welds, does a very good job.
Ding, 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 ding. Like
I'm going to be taking it to him.
Okay.
I'm just glad it didn't break when I had the roll of hay and I was moving it close to the truck where it fell and hit the truck.
Oh, yeah. I don't think it would have hurt the truck much, though.
Hey, be nice.
I am. Okay, so now...
Old Smokey does just fine.
Yeah, the mosquito repellent. Okay, so let's get this over there, and then we'll come back and we're working on our next little project.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, this is the side of farming that is not enjoyable. There's a thing called black buzzards. Red-headed buzzards are protected. Black-headed buzzards are protected. Your red-headed buzzards are the turkey buzzard, turkey vultures, turkey buzzards as they're called, are the ones that are actually in danger. But yet, because they're a buzzard, black-headeds have been thrown into that. In the state of Kentucky and a lot of other states, you can actually get a permit to kill them. This is why. Show the calf. We had a new calf born last night, and what they do is they'll come up, first they'll peck the eyes out on the calf, and then from that point they start hitting it. So the calf was born. As soon as it was born, the buzzards started attacking it. So,
and it was a little heifer too.
it's a little heifer calf. So that's one of those things you hate to see.
Yeah.
But it's the unfortunate side of having cattle. You're not able to be around them all the time, and unfortunately, this happens. So now we just have to make sure that the mama cow didn't get attacked, because a lot of times the buzzards will get at the back end of the mama, and while she is in labor, they will peck at her, and actually the vagina, the whole vulva area, they will actually destroy. So they can be very, very detrimental. And buzzards are not something that's good at all. At all. The red-headed buzzards are not what they call the violent ones. I have found out that the red-headed buzzards, they are, for instance, a dead animal. They are able to smell that, just say, a mile away. I'm just using numbers as an example. The black-headed buzzards could only smell that rotting meat, or in this case, after birth, the distance of, say, a quarter of a mile. So the black-headed buzzards will end up following all of the red-headed buzzards, and when they come down to eat whatever it is, whether that is roadkill, deer, or whatever, the black-headed buzzards will come in and they violently attack the red-headed buzzards, drive them away, and then they start consuming them. But this little dude, little girl, rigor mortis hadn't set in, so that happened probably this morning. If I had to guess, probably about 2-3 hours ago. Anyway,
Okay.
now we gotta find the mom.
All right.
Okay.
All right, guys.
The unfortunate aspect of what we just had, we have about another 8 days of grazing over here. And that's with us doing the supplementing of the hay. But we're getting ready to get to the point where we're having a lot of calves. This area that we have the cattle at right now, the unfortunate aspect is there are a lot of buzzards here. And because of what I just described earlier of the government putting the government making them on the protected list, instead of just the redheads being protected, it is now also the blackheads that are protected, and they're overpopulated. Quite honestly, they need to be about 90% of them done away with. That would increase the red-headed buzzard population and decrease the black-headed buzzard, which is the aggressive buzzard that, as you can see, will come down and kill newborn animals.
You can apply for a permit though, right?
Yes, well, we have a permit. We have a permit to be able to kill them. It's through the Kentucky Farm Bureau, and so we have a permit.
The problem is we can't be there all the time.
Yeah.
With the cattle.
Right.
And our fault, we didn't get over here early this morning. If we had, we might have been able to save the calf. So that's a lesson learned, but it still hurts because it's a female, which is what we're wanting to build our herd with.
Yeah.
And so it's, that's always something we have to deal with, unfortunately, in this country, in this area, because of the black buzzards.
Yeah.
But they are a menace. This is the second calf that we've lost. We lost one 1.5 years ago, isn't that right?
Yeah, and then we had one attacked last year, but
Yeah.
at the same time.
Saved it. So they are a menace to the cattle industry.
We are fortunate. I have some friends over in the western part of Tennessee, and last year they lost 8 calves due to black-headed buzzards, and they lost it in a 2-week time frame. And he depends solely upon his cattle for income. That is devastating when that happens.
So what's your plan of action now? What are we getting ready?
Well, we're going to move
I guess
over
what we're
into
doing.
the next paddock, get it set up. We're basically going to set it up to where we can get them moved out of here in the next few days. So at the longest, they'll be here for 2 days, hopefully tomorrow morning. After I get through flying tonight, we'll get the cattle trailers and move them from here to a place where we are able to monitor them a lot closer.
We may be at 2 days because we're going to move them to the east here, but then the south is where the barn is that we're going to move them out of. So we may have to move them into that paddock, and then we may give them a little bit there. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. That'll do for now.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. So what have we decided to do now? What's our plan?
We've decided to go ahead and leave them here, but all during the daylight hours,
We're going to be sitting with them.
we're going to be sitting. Excuse me, my wife is calling.
That's important.
Sitting here with them.
Don't get your dinner plate broke. So we're going to be sitting here with the calves. Or the cattle. There's going to be somebody here during all the daylight hours. So unfortunately, that's good for the cattle, good for our hay usage, because we won't be feeding hay, and they'll be able to eat this winter stockpiled grass and the new grass that's coming up, because it's going to be at least 2 months before the cattle are back here on this farm, so they'll have plenty of time to rejuvenate. But the bad aspect of it is there's a lot of stuff that has to be done, but one of us will be over here during the daylight hours until we move them from the farm. We have approximately 8 more days left here that we can graze the cattle. So,
Are we drawing straws?
yeah, we'll be drawing straws. Yeah,
So who's
straws.
a lucky winner that gets to sit and babysit?
Well, while I am doing my other job of flying nights, fortunately and unfortunately, it won't be me.
Ah, see, that's just an excuse.
Yeah, it is an excuse, but it's kind of a valid one too.
Okay, we'll let you slide. So,
But anyway, that's what we've got.
Yeah.
So that's just how it goes.
well, that's okay. I mean, it's a team effort, so you do what you got to do.
Yes, it is.
So, all right. So we pretty
With
much.
that, I think we're going to call it quits because we've got other stuff. I've got to take that hay fork that I broke this morning over to a gentleman that's going to be welding it for me.
Okay.
And we still haven't gotten hay for the 6 that didn't breed back when they were supposed to. We have them with the bull right now, and they're approaching 50 days now of being with the bull, so they should have been bred. But they are still being fed hay because they're kind of they're in about a 6-acre area.
Yeah.
So I still got to get hay for them today.
Do you have to like sleep somewhere in between all these?
I'll find some point to sleep because I do have to fly tonight. So
Okay.
yeah.
I know this. We're finished seeing. Here I go dragging it out. But please tell people what you do. I mean, I'm sure you have in the beginning, but just kind of explain what you're doing.
Well, the cowboy hat is me, but I do farm on the side. But what I do, my main income is I am an EMS helicopter pilot. I fly
Thank you.
people whenever they get hurt, wherever they have to go. Been doing that for 18 years now, and that is what has allowed me to have this lifestyle that we are trying to make full-time lifestyle. At some point it will be, but right now we just have to take it a day at a time. So
Right.
I do still keep flying helicopters. So I do a week on and then I have a week off. The week off is great because it's like getting half the year of a vacation. But the week that you're on, it can make it kind of challenging, especially when you have to move the cattle early in the morning and you change and move paddocks. So I say all that to tell people, if you want to do this, there is a way to do it as far as rotational grazing. Yeah, it makes you get up some, and yeah, you may miss out on a little bit of sleep, but the joy you get from it with the cattle and seeing what it does to the land and being out in nature, if you love that, it makes it worth it.
But let's introduce this wonderful man over here that backs you up when you have things to do.
This is the gentleman that backs me up when I have flown all night and I'm like, I can't do it. And
Hello.
Hello.
this is my father, Dr. Lauren Wagoner.
Hi.
So please tell us a little bit about what you do and what your role
In the
is.
past, I was in a full-service veterinary clinic for 30 years. We did large and small animals. When I came to Christian County, we were about 90% large animal and 10% small. By the time I left, due to increased crop prices and various other factors, the fact that this land here lays pretty flat, cattle left this country, and so by the time I left the practice, we were about 85% small and 15% large,
Wow.
out of defensive measures to try to stay afloat. The enjoyment to me was the large animals, and although I did primarily small animals, a lot of surgery later on, I got worn out with it, and so retired in 1998. I took over the veterinary part of handling the elk and bison and land between the lakes. It's a U.S. Forest Service holding, and did that for 10 years. Most of the elk that's in the Cataloochee Valley over in Smoky Mountains and in the Sunquist wildlife area in Tennessee all came from here, and so we were responsible for moving those elk over there. Both those herds have propagated and doing a really good job. I also started doing investigations and covering animal shelters for the state through the Veterinary Medical Association, the Board of Examiners, and did that until this past year. So now there are 2 people that are trained to do my job, and so I've stepped out of that. So now I'm available to help Tim. We're in a joint venture, it's 50-50 venture, but really...
You're our veterinarian.
Yeah.
I am what?
You're
You are
our veterinarian.
Yes.
We're so blessed and
Now I'm in
thankful.
veterinary medicine for personal reasons.
Yep.
Now,
And
I
your
guess you'd
granddaughter
say.
is coming behind you
Yes.
in
Yeah.
your shoes.
Yes, so by the time she gets out, I may be ready not to even touch a cow. I don't know.
Well, thank you. So what we're going to do is one day I want to go into more depth with you, Dad, about some of the things you did when you were in veterinary medicine that really changed a lot here. There was one case that you flew some samples and you discovered something. So we're going to hit on that here in probably next couple weeks, but just let people know that there's more coming. So what are we doing? So what do you do?
So remember, if you like the information you have seen, make sure and subscribe, hit that little bell, and every time we release a new video, you'll be notified.
Okay.
And with that, we're going to say, have a good day.
Adios.
Bye.
Next time.